It was supposed to be over. The heavy steel doors of the bank slammed shut, the shutters dropped over every window, and red lights started flashing. From the outside, police cheered. The automatic lockdown had worked. No one was getting in. No one was getting out. There was just one problem. The robbers were still inside. They had guns. They had hostages. And the high-tech security system that was designed to stop them had just turned the entire building into their personal fortress. Over the next few hours, this quiet city would turn into a war zone of snipers, negotiators, panicked families, and one question. How did a perfect security system trap a gang of bank robbers inside with millions in cash and a room full of terrified customers? Today on this video, we're going inside the lockdown, step by step, to see how a simple mistake turned a fast robbery into a national-level siege. Stay till the end, because the most shocking part of this story isn't how the robbers got in. It's how one of them almost walked out. It's a Friday afternoon, just after 3 p.m. The place, a mid-sized city that looks like anywhere. Not New York, not Los Angeles. Just a normal downtown with glass office buildings, traffic lights, and people rushing to finish their week. At the corner of two busy streets stands Riverfront National Bank. From the outside, it looks normal. Automatic glass doors, ATMs, a few security cameras, and a blue logo that people barely notice anymore. Inside, there are about 20 to 25 customers, around 10 staff on the floor, a bank manager in his glass office, and one armed guard near the entrance. It's payday for a lot of local businesses, so people are here to cash checks, deposit weekend earnings, or just grab some cash before heading home. Nobody in that building knows that, a few blocks away, 4 men sit in a van, watching the entrance and checking their watches. They're about to make the worst decision of their lives. The crew had been planning this for months. Not professionals from some Hollywood movie, more like one ex-security guard who thought he knew the system. His younger cousin with a record for small-time theft, a driver who owed a lot of money to the wrong people, and a fourth man, quiet and secretive, who always seemed to know too much about how banks worked. We'll call them Mark, the ex-guard, self-appointed leader; Leo, his cousin, jumpy but loyal; Danny, the driver, desperate; Ray, the quiet one. According to Mark, this was supposed to be in and out in under 7 minutes. He had worked in private security for a rival bank chain. He knew about panic buttons, cameras, standard response times for local police. He also knew something else. Riverfront National had recently upgraded its security system. New cameras, new alarm monitoring, and a new automatic lockdown function. If the main alarm was tripped, the system could lock exterior doors, drop metal shutters over certain windows, alert police and the bank's central security office simultaneously. Mark had 2 key beliefs. The lockdown would take time to fully engage. If they controlled the alarm from the inside, they could be out before it mattered. That was his first mistake. 3:07 p.m., the van pulls up into a side street. Danny stays behind the wheel, engine idling. Mark, Leo, and Ray step out. Each man wears a light jacket to cover his weapon. Mark and Ray carry pistols. Leo has a short shotgun under his coat. They're wearing baseball caps and sunglasses, casual enough not to scream robber, but enough to blur their faces on casual CCTV review. They walk through the revolving doors like everyone else. Inside, the biggest threat is the armed guard. Mark's plan is simple. Walk in separately, spread out. When he gives the signal, move fast, disarm the guard, and take control. Everything depends on speed and shock. If the alarm isn't hit, the lockdown won't engage. If the lockdown doesn't engage, they grab the cash and leave through the same doors they came in. As they move inside, the cameras catch them from 3 angles: front entrance, teller line, and the lobby. No one watching those feeds yet has any idea what's about to happen. 3:09 p.m. A woman at the front of the queue steps up to the teller. The line behind her shuffles forward. The guard near the front door checks his watch, yawns slightly, and glances at the cameras. Mark is standing near the center of the lobby, pretending to fill out a deposit slip. Leo is a few meters to his left. Ray is closer to the manager's office, scanning the room carefully. This is the moment. Mark drops the pen. That's the signal. In one smooth motion, Leo pulls out the shotgun and racks it, the loud metallic clack freezing the room. Mark draws his pistol and points it straight at the guard. Ray swings around and covers the tellers and the manager's office. "Everyone down, now!" screams. The sound of paper hitting the floor. A woman drops her handbag. Coins spill everywhere. The guard reaches for his weapon, but he's too slow. Mark snaps. Hand it over, or you're dead. The guard looks at the shotgun pointed at his chest, then at the terrified customers around him, and makes a choice. He slowly unclips his holster and slides his pistol across the floor. Mark kicks it behind the counter. Good. Stay on the ground. No hero stuff. This is the part of every robbery plan that usually goes right. The takeover. Tellers raise their hands, customers lie on the floor, someone starts crying. Leo moves to the door and forces a customer to lock it. Ray forces the manager, Mr. Hall, to step out of his glass office. Keys, access cards, now. Within 90 seconds, they control the room. So far the plan is working. But what Mark doesn't know is that the plan is already doomed because of something none of them saw. While everyone was watching the guns, nobody noticed the smallest person in the room. A teenage girl standing near the end of the queue. When Leo racked the shotgun and people started screaming, she did what she'd seen in every safety video at school. She hit the ground and she crawled. Not towards the door. Not towards a window. Towards the side of the teller counter, where she'd watched her mother, a bank employee, work many times before. Mounted under that counter was a small blue button. A silent alarm. With shaking fingers, hiding behind two fallen chairs, she hit it. No sound, no flashing lights. Just a quiet signal sent instantly to the bank's central security office across town and the local police dispatch. Time: 3:10 p.m. From the robber's point of view, nothing had changed. From the system's point of view, everything had. The automatic lockdown sequence had just begun. Less than 60 seconds after that button is pressed, the central security office confirms. Multiple cameras show armed men in the lobby, staff and customers on the ground, the armed guard disarmed. They hit code red. The lockdown program is activated. On a screen in the security control center, a progress bar appears, initiating remote lockdown, Riverfront National downtown branch. The process is quick, but not instant. Exterior doors will switch to secure mode, magnetic locks engage. Some internal doors to high-risk areas will lock automatically. Metal shutters on selected windows will drop. Back in the bank, Mark is focused on the manager. He shoves him towards the rear of the building. Vault. Now. The manager, pale and sweating, stumbles as he walks. As they pass through a secure door towards the vault area, something happens that shouldn't. The green light on the access panel flickers, then turns red. A heavy clicking sound echoes through the hallway. The door behind them, the one that leads back to the lobby, locks. Hey, what was that? Leo calls from the front. Ray's eyes narrow. The system. Something's wrong. They don't know yet, but the building has just sealed itself. From now on, no one enters or exits without outside override. The robbers may reach the cash, but getting out will be another story. 3:13 p.m. The first police cruisers arrive. Officers jump out, take positions behind their car doors, weapons drawn, watching the front entrance. From the street, everything looks normal. Too normal. No one running out. No broken glass. Just a bank with closed doors and a few silhouettes inside. Then the call comes through the radio. Be advised, automatic lockdown has engaged. Building is sealed. Suspects likely still inside with hostages. More units arrive. The street is closed off at both ends. Pedestrians are pushed back. Smartphones come out. People start filming. Within minutes, the scene turns from quiet mid-afternoon to full-scale operation. SWAT is called. Negotiators are en route. A command post is set up on the corner. By 3:20 p.m., there are more than a dozen officers on scene. But there's something chilling about this situation. Normally, robbers either flee quickly or barricade themselves, by choice. Here, the bank itself has done the barricading for them. Back inside, tension is rising. In the lobby, Leo hears distant sirens. Cops, he mutters. Already? Mark is in the corridor with the manager, staring at a blinking red light on the door panel. What do you mean you can't open it? He snaps. The manager stammers, in lockdown, some doors. They only open from the control center. I don't have that level. Mark grabs him by the collar. You're telling me we're stuck here? Ray steps closer, his voice low and steady. Forget the vault. They know we're here. We change the plan. We control the hostages. We negotiate. It's the first time Mark realizes the truth. This is no longer a robbery. It's a siege. Back in the lobby, fear is spreading. People are whispering, crying softly, praying. The teenage girl who hit the silent alarm is lying very still, hoping nobody noticed what she did. She has no idea she might have just saved everyone's life or made them all targets. Leo paces near the entrance, checking the lock, the hinges, the windows. He tries the door. Nothing. The magnetic lock holds firm. Door's dead, he calls out. We're sealed, Mark returns, pushing the manager ahead of him. He raises his voice. Everyone stay calm. This changes nothing. You cooperate, nobody gets hurt. But inside, he's running numbers in his head. How many hostages? How many hours till nightfall? How much ammunition they have? How long they can keep control before someone inside snaps? On top of that, there's another problem he doesn't know about yet. The bank's security cameras are streaming live to the police command center outside. And among the officers watching is someone who recognizes one of the faces inside. A voice echoes through a loudspeaker from outside. Inside the bank, this is the police. We know you're in there. We want to resolve this peacefully. No one has to get hurt. The hostages flinch. Mark and Ray exchange a glance. Pick someone to talk, Ray says. They push the manager, Mr. Hall, towards the door. He's going to be our messenger, Mark decides. They order him to approach the main entrance, staying visible. Outside, a negotiator steps forward with a portable radio and a bulletproof vest. Sir, at the door, can you hear me? He calls. The manager nods. Are you hurt? The negotiator asks. He shakes his head. Are there armed men inside with you? Slow, terrified nod. Okay, you're doing good. I'm going to slide this phone inside. When it rings, answer it and pass it to whoever is in charge. Can you do that? The manager nods again. A small throw phone is slid under the gap of the door. Someone inside picks it up. A few seconds later, it rings. Mark answers. On the other end, a calm voice. My name is Alex. I'm here to listen and make sure everyone gets out alive. Talk to me. The negotiation begins. While Alex keeps Mark talking, asking about demands, injured people, food, water, other officers are working in the background. They watch the live camera feeds. They see Leo pacing and nervously waving his shotgun. They see Ray, always watching, always calm. They see from body language that Mark does most of the talking, but Ray is the real thinker. One detective in the command post freezes as he stares at the screen. I know that guy, he says, pointing at Ray. That's Raymond Cole. He used to work in bank IT security. We questioned him last year on a fraud case. Suddenly it makes sense. How they knew the procedures. How they moved so confidently inside. Why they weren't shocked by the cameras. But the lockdown system, the newest upgrade, is something even Ray didn't fully understand. Inside, the pressure is getting worse. Some hostages have medical issues. One older man with chest pains, a woman who's 8 months pregnant and crying. Alex, the negotiator, uses this. Mark, listen, he says over the phone. You have people in there who need help. You don't want a dead hostage on your hands. Let us send in a medic. We'll do it unarmed. Ray shakes his head when Mark covers the receiver. Bad idea, he whispers. We let them in, they'll never leave. But Mark is looking at the sweating, gasping older man on the ground. We agree, he tells Alex. One medic, no weapons. We'll search him. It's a risk for both sides. As this goes on, another idea is taking shape in Ray's mind. The bank isn't just full of cameras. It's full of suits, ties, and business clothes. If the building is eventually breached, chaos will follow. Officers rushing in, people rushing out, shouts, confusion. And in confusion, identities can blur. Ray starts studying the crowd. He notices one man. Tall, wearing a blue shirt and tie, glasses, roughly the same build as him. Ray quietly takes off his own jacket, revealing a plain white shirt. He's thinking ahead. Way ahead. If this ends in chaos, if the doors finally open and people stampede out, there might be a window of only a few seconds to walk out with hands up, pretending to be a hostage. But for that to work, they need time. They need the police tired, stressed, almost ready to storm the building. So Ray urges Mark to stall. Ask for a vehicle, ask for food, ask for anything. Keep them talking. Every extra minute is a chance for a mistake. By early evening, the scene outside the bank is a circus. News vans with satellite dishes. Reporters doing live stand-ups, snipers on nearby rooftops. Families of employees crying behind the tape. Inside, the air is hot and stale. The robbers are losing their edge. Leo's hands shake when he reloads. Mark snaps at him. Ray keeps watching the clock and the hostages, calculating. Alex, the negotiator, keeps his voice calm. Mark, we can end this with you walking out alive. People make mistakes. You don't have to make it worse. Mark doesn't say it out loud, but he knows. There's no scenario where he just walks away. He's seen what happens to failed bank robbers. The best he can hope for now is to not go out in a hail of bullets. At one point, the lights flicker. The building is being switched to an emergency power mode. Backup systems keep the locks engaged and cameras running. Outside, SWAT commanders debate. Do they storm the bank now, risking hostages? Or do they wait, risking the robbers getting desperate and starting to shoot? The answer comes from an unexpected direction, a small, shaky voice on the phone. The teenage girl who hit the alarm. At some point during the long standoff, the girl manages to crawl closer to the manager's office, where there's a desk phone on the floor. Hidden behind a chair, she dials 3 digits she knows by heart. Emergency services. Her whisper is barely audible. There are 3 of them, she says. 1 with a shotgun, 2 with pistols. One of them has taken off his jacket. He looks like one of us. The dispatcher records it and sends it to the command post. Suspect changing appearance. Planning to blend with hostages. Now, when officers outside look at the monitor, they know what they're watching for. A robber without a jacket. Same build as some of the male hostages, trying to disappear into the crowd. Ray's escape plan is no longer a secret. The trap is nearly closed. Night has fully fallen. The building is lit from outside by portable floodlights. Inside, people are exhausted. Mark is emotionally finished. He's shouted, he's threatened, but deep down he knows this is over. Ray is still thinking, still hoping for that one moment of distraction. Around 10 p.m., after nearly 7 hours, Alex, the negotiator, makes a final push. Mark, listen to me, he says. We've given you food. We've brought a medic. No one outside has fired a single shot. We've kept our word. Now you need to do the same. Start by sending out some hostages. Show me you want a way out. After a long silence, Mark agrees. 5, he says. We send 5. Women and the old guy. The first group of hostages is released. They come out with their hands over their heads, running, crying, collapsing into the arms of officers. It works. No one shoots. No one rushes the door. Inside, hope flickers in a few hearts. If they let some go, maybe they'll let all go. Ray watches closely. He notes how the police are positioned, how the hostages are searched, how they're moved. He adjusts his plan. Next time, when a larger group goes, he'll be in it. He pulls on a spare jacket he took from a coat rack, similar color to the tall hostage he picked out earlier. He straightens his borrowed tie. He looks like any other office worker who got stuck in the wrong place. Just after midnight, Mark breaks. He's talked to Alex for hours. He's heard his own voice on the news. He's watched hostages cry and beg. He knows they're surrounded. He knows the building is fully locked down. There is no hidden exit, no magic back door. Okay, he says quietly into the phone. We're done. We'll come out. No one shoots. Alex speaks slowly, choosing every word. We don't want anyone shot, Mark. Here's how this will work. You send out all the hostages first. All of them. Then each of you comes out one at a time, hands high, no weapons. You understand? Silence. Then, yeah, we understand. Inside they start moving people. Everyone up, Ray calls. Slowly. Hands visible. Terrified, stiff, exhausted, the hostages stand. They form a line. The doors, under external control, finally unlock with a heavy clunk. For the first time in hours, the outside air touches the lobby. One by one, hostages begin to step through. Officers yell instructions. Hands up! Move to the right! Keep your eyes forward. People shuffle out. And among them, head slightly bowed, jacket on, face tense, walks Ray. To an officer watching through a rifle scope, he looks like just another office worker. But down in the command post, another officer is watching on a screen, and he's not fooled. Pause, zoom in. That's him, he says. That's Cole. Blue jacket, no tie now. He changed again. A SWAT team leader gets the word in his earpiece. Second group, third man from the back, likely armed suspect trying to blend in. Take him at the line. As Ray crosses the threshold, hands up, an officer steps directly into his path. On your knees, now. Ray realizes, too late, that the game is over. He hesitates, just for a fraction of a second. It's enough. He's tackled to the ground, wrists yanked behind his back, a knee pressed into his spine. A pistol clatters out of his waistband. The crowd gasps. The hostages see it and understand how close he came to disappearing among them. Behind him, Mark and Leo watch eyes wide. Their last hope slipping away in the chaos just vanished. They shuffle out moments later, separately, hands high, guns left inside. The siege is over. In the end, no hostages died that night. Some were injured. Many were traumatized. But they all walked out alive. The robbers weren't so lucky. Mark, Leo, Donnie the driver, and Ray were all arrested and later convicted. In court, the prosecutor called it a case where advanced security stopped a robbery, but almost created a massacre. The bank's lockdown did what it was supposed to do. It contained the threat. But it also trapped armed, desperate men, dozens of innocent civilians, and a city in fear for almost 10 hours. What really ended this crisis wasn't steel doors or security software. It was a teenager brave enough to hit a silent alarm, a negotiator patient enough to keep talking, and officers sharp enough to spot a robber trying to vanish in plain sight. In the end, the bank locked down. But the most dangerous people were still inside. And that's the terrifying truth about perfect systems. They can trap the bad guys, and everyone else with them.